Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today is your episode 100. Yes, I can't believe it. It's 100 already. I've never thought about myself doing this for this long because I first started this as not even as a hobby. It's more like a tool for me to practice my English. I always have this problems talking in public, and sometimes I have so many ideas, but I think too much, then I can't get my ideas out. So during pandemic, it was very difficult for me to communicate professionally in English. I really had a hard time to articulate my ideas. So I thought about, hey, why not start a 7-day challenge of practicing my English? And then I started to do some, instead of reading a book and writing a self-reflection or book review or something, listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube that really inspiring, and then get some ideas and start to talk about those. But instead of talking by myself at home, why not record how I talk and then just, replay and see what I need to improve? Then that's how I started the 7-day challenge to practice my English. Mm, it's really interesting that before that, I was doing all the vlogs, I was trying to record life of Bob, my life, doing coffee sort of things. I was trying to copy other people's lifestyles and never got viral. And the f- the most important reason I started a vlog channel because I wanted somebody to sponsor me. I want to get some freebies. I want to get stuff for Bob, and I really thought about sponsorship or things like that. But it never take off, and then somehow those English videos went really viral back then. And then I think I had my another video about me doing an interview. It was a real time interview video. I had that posted for a while, and then I thought that wasn't really ethical because I didn't really ask the other person if it was okay for me to post the whole interview. So I decided to take it down, and that was. But that video actually went really well before I took it down, and that's how I realized the importance of asking for consent, or the seriousness of asking for consent. And then that's why I took it down, but also apologized to the person that was in interview. And then I was like, you know what? I need to practice my English, and those videos really did well. Why not start a channel doing this kind of things? But I didn't really want to start a channel about teaching or learning English. I really wanted to start something that I can benefit from because I've been teaching English for so long. I really don't want to do anything with it so I can improve my English in a different way. Instructional language is very different from a day to day language. I can definitely teach well, but all I use is very instructional. I know terms of about grammar, about English language learning, or sorts of things, but I wasn't really able to confidently communicate with other people on a daily basis. So that's why I said, okay, I'm going to start this channel in that way. And my first episode was about imposter syndrome, and that's my first time getting in touch with that kind of topic. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I learn new knowledge. I learn new language about the knowledge. I can share that with other people, and I can improve my English and content and knowledge, other things. So why not? But I could tell that my language there was not good enough, and I was nervous. I just didn't know how to behave, how to perform in front of camera. So it was a little bit awkward, and I was trying to do it in the spare bedroom while everybody was working from home, and I had all set up there, and I started to do it. For the second episode, I wanted to kind of copy that style, and it didn't work out because I was thinking too much. When I think too much, it's very hard for me to get out of things. Like today, I had a lot of plans and ideas and I want to talk about, but because I was thinking too much, I just didn't know where to start with. Anyway, so for the second episode, I came downstairs. I said, why not just sit down on the ground and then start to talk about things? And then Bob happened to jump on the sofa behind me, and I made a saying for our coffee corner, which Bob is part of the team, right? And I really love it. And since then, Bob has been part of the team most of the time when he's willing to. And that's how I started this channel. And I'm very happy. So many of you there have stayed with me since the beginning, and some of you joined in the middle of it, and some of you just joined recently. And I like how you tell me that you love this format, you love this kind of long version of videos, because I understand the short videos are so popular, like just because we're so busy, we only have very short attention span for certain things. So we tend to skip content. We tend to get to the core before we start to, get antsy, get fidgety. It's a social media, it's a fast-paced world that you just have to, quickly get to the point. But for me, part of most of the reason for this channel is to practice my own speaking. So I don't want to do the short videos stuff. I want to be able to just talk honestly with you, with myself, so I can share some of those things I know or I'm currently learning, those kind of things. So that's why uh, I continue to do this. And the funny thing is, other than language, the funny thing is, in the very beginning, I didn't expect it to get popular like this, and I didn't think about getting so many followers. Um, because that seemed very impossible for me. I don't know why, but then for a certain period of time, and then I got a lot of views, comments, I got a lot of subscribers, those kind of things. I was so happy. That's when I started to realize, oh, I want to do a better job so I can have more subscribers, more views, or I just care about the numbers so much to the point that I just didn't know what to do. And then I started to make videos about how I should not care about those kind of things, how I should not care about the number, the data, everything. But making videos like that means I do care about the number, right? I do want to do a better job. So I was in this kind of conflicting moment that I don't know what to do. I want to get popular, but I'm not willing to change the format of how I make videos. And I just kind of like, oh, I can't really, work with myself. I can't connect with myself. I just had a really hard time. And then to the point I kind of wanted to give up at one point. But I'm glad I, stick to it and then have gone this far. So thanks myself and thanks to all of you guys who are still here with me. That's how I continued. Okay, so second thing I want to talk about, still about language. In the very beginning, I was okay. Like I was able to communicate. I was able to articulate what I wanted to say, but in a certain way. I cared too much about accuracy over fluency. I was really trying to get everything right. I was trying to use big words. I was trying to I was trying to just to get everything right for one shot, but it was very difficult, right? You have to try so many times to get it right. Anyway, and then I care about how other people see my accent, see my vocabulary, see everything. And I've got some comments saying, "Oh, why I can't understand you." I have the video here. Why you guys can't understand me, not native speakers. I was so into those kind of things that I hope you don't understand me. Then that means my English is really good. To that point, I just feel like that doesn't make any sense, right? Um, so I cared a lot. I was trying to learn vocabulary. And I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. But sometimes when you are presenting or when you are talking about or when you're selling things, you want to make your ideas simple so audience want to listen to it and they understand. So always remember that you want your audience to feel smart. You don't want to make them to feel that you're smart because that's a really dumb way to do it. Anyway, so get back to our topic about being fluency, being accuracy, and I care about my accent. I care about how people say about my English. For so long, I think about halfway through, I started to not think about that too much. I feel like the most important thing is to really speak. Right now, I can talk. So for me, the most cheerful thing when it comes to speaking is uh, if I can talk about my ideas fluently, if I can get my ideas out and other people understand them, I will be very happy. That means my communication skills are there instead of focusing on the language. So remember, language is just a tool. It's just a tool. Unless you're a linguist and you want to get deeper into that kind of field, into that topic, then that's another whole level. But use language as a tool. The most important thing, when it comes to communication, it's not only about the language. There's verbal, nonverbal communication skills, how you make eye contact, your body language, and there's some other things that your voice even matters. Those kind of things. Those are all, communication skills. So, do you have that or not? That's very important. For me right now, if I'm able to communicate my ideas clearly, and people can get it, people can comment and share their stories with me, then I'm quite happy about it because that means I have effective communication skills. So that's how I see my language now. That's a huge change for me because if you still care about how to become accurate when it comes to speaking, when it comes to language, uh, you're gonna have you're not going to reach maximum improvement there. So that's my experience. That might not be true, but that's my experience. If you don't think about that too much, you just speak. You will actually speak better than you think. So that's a really funny thing for myself. So try it. And if you don't have a confidence, you say because I don't speak good English, I can't use correct grammar. I don't have a beautiful fancy structure, vocabulary, or sort of things. Just forget about those. Start to talk with the simple sentences, start to talk with the simple words. As long as you can talk. What's a big deal about being accuracy? Well, if you teach English, then that's another story to tell, right? Anyway, so that's about my English. Another thing is uh, how I become more comfortable with myself. It's like a rediscover myself kind of journey for me from the beginning, that I was definitely very shy and I wanted to know more about what I don't know, to now I'm more confident about, I'm interested in this topic. I don't care if that's going to catch a lot of attention out there. I just want to share this with everybody. If I have two views, those two views count, right? That's how I become more comfortable with myself, and then sometimes and the funny thing is, I used to really get ready for camera, wash my hair, I put makeup on, I would dress up. I bought a lot. For some reason, for a certain long period of time, I bought a lot of shirts to just get ready for camera. I even thought about every time when I was planning for videos, I was thinking, "Oh, what kind of shirts will match? What kind of things that people would ask? Oh, I like your shirts. I like your accessories, or sorts of things." Um, I have I still have a lot of kind of funky shirts that I wouldn't normally wear. Um, but I stopped doing that now because I realize it doesn't really matter how I dress up. But if you think about, as if you look at male hosts, or if you look at those male influencers, YouTubers, how many of them actually do makeup, dress up, comb their hair, do all sorts of fancy stuff? But if you look at female influencers, how many of them are very, very presentable, very beautiful? They really put up a lot of effort on their appearance in front of camera. So that's very interesting. I've noticed. I'm not like I'm stopping doing that. I still do it, but I kind of minimalize the whole process. I would only do eyebrows and the lipstick, so I kind of look at least decent for this, right? So I want to be some sort professional. It's my hobby now, but because so many people are watching, I also want to deliver a positive image to other people, that you can look decent and be professional as well, right? So that's what kind of thing I've improved a lot. And also another thing is, how I look, and about my skin, about my appearance, and so I remember some people talked about my teeth were sort of thing. I was very self-conscious about those kind of things. Every time I was trying to find an angle about how to put a camera so it won't show my teeth or something, I would go out there and explain why my teeth were like this, and why I wasn't able to fix them, sort of things. But now I'm more like, this is me. Um, I don't really need to explain why I'm comfortable with myself, right? So as long as you're comfortable with yourself. And also another thing is about reconnecting with myself as well. I feel like I've discovered a lot by doing this, the way I talk, my little behaviors there, and also my inner peace, like I see myself as a little child instead of my body that I've never discovered before. Now I start to ask that little child and say, hey, how are you doing today? What have you learned? I've learned a lot of psychological theories. I went to therapists. I went to other things. I've gone through a lot. I have a huge life change. And I've learned from being enemy to myself, now become like a friend with myself. That's a very long journey to do, but I've documented that, and I've noticed the pattern of the topics I've talked about before, how my mind has shifted from here to there. It was amazing. When I listened to those videos I've made before, I couldn't believe I was able to talk about those things, right? You would never believe it until you do it, until you accomplish that. I've learned a lot. I really like it. I really appreciate my own effort. I really appreciate whoever clicked on the video and started to tell me how wonderful I was. And then it really got me to this far. And I really appreciate that. Another thing I've noticed that it has become one of my favorite habits. Why do I say that? I feel like every time when I feel stressed, it's like a getaway, right? For me, I can't sit here and start to talk. After this, I start to feel really well immediately. So I'm like, if you can find something that you can benefit from a lot, why don't you do it? Right? And also, it has taught me a lot of things that don't doubt yourself, be confident or not. It doesn't matter if you want to be confident or not. The most important thing, be comfortable with yourself, and also, be friendly with yourself. I hate myself a lot of times, but I start to realize even that hateful person is part of me. I need to take good care of that person, right? And also, I've learned how to not be harsh on myself. Sometimes you just have to be good enough, right? Good enough mom, good enough person, good enough employee, good enough everything, that you have to just chill out there, be easy with yourself, right? So that's what I've learned there. And also another thing I've learned um is a self-reflection. It's like today, this episode, I'm doing self-reflection. It's amazing to notice that how much I've achieved, and some things I've done correctly, some things I've done not quite there, and something that I can probably do better. And that really gives me a lot of comfort. It's really weird to say the comfort. And I start to write journal more often, so I can vent out my emotions. Every time when I have the hard time and when I have the dark moment, I start to pull on my journal and start to write about my feelings, emotions, everything, so I can be a calm person. I've learned a lot of things to help myself get out of the dark hole, and that's very precious for me as well. And also the most important thing is I've made a lot of good friends out there. I know we've never met before, but it feels like we're old friends. When I see those comments, there's a, hey, Saburo, I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't come on here for a while. I've noticed your change. And then some comments notice that, oh, you've changed, like you've improved a lot overall. You look really refreshing, all sorts of things. It's like your old friends, they notice the change of you. How amazing it is for me, like how cheerful it is for me when I see those comments. I just feel very lovely. And the luckiest thing about having this channel is I barely have negative comments. I mean, in the beginning, some people criticize my English, but really just a few, but back then I focused on those few things. Now I'm more like, if you like me, we're friends. If you don't, it's okay. I don't ask everybody to like me. I can't, right? So that's very a typical me for myself. For future, I've have so I've had so many ideas about what I wanted to do in the future because I feel I want to continue, but I don't know, like maybe people are tired of this kind of things. But I also want to start a new journey, new series to make it a little bit short, to make it a little bit more informative. But I don't know what. If you guys have some ideas that you want to share with me, just leave a comment there, or send me a message to say, "Hey, Bay, I want you to do this," and that might be a good idea, or sorts of things. I did think about this. I like Quora. I like answering questions. It could be something that I can find a question from you guys, or I can find a question from Quora and then start to answer it. So that would be some sort of like a short video of some informative thing. That's what I was thinking about. I did have a series about learning English, which is English 101. And a long time ago, I made a podcast for my students. It was 5 Minute English with Bay. I I do I do not enjoy educating people in that way. So maybe occasionally I will upload some of videos about English language learning, but mostly I want to do something other than language learning because you have to understand that English is just a tool. The most important thing is about the content. You have to learn more than just the language to communicate with other people. So that's what I was thinking about future. But anyway, it is very good to notice that I've reached 100. And also, it's very good that I actually made this video to think about the past. But I'm sure I missed a couple of points that I really wanted to talk about, but I can't remember any of those things. And also, because I don't have scripts, I'm not writing down notes, those kind of things. So every video is pretty much just on the fly. So that's what I do. And anyway, if you have any ideas, if you follow me from very beginning, or you're my new friends, and just let me know. Leave a comment. Don't be strangers. Okay, so I hope you like this episode and stay tuned for the very next one. And take care. Bye.